Welcome back to the House of Hades.
Welcome back. As this is not your first adventure, tutorials have already been seen and will not appear again. If you would like to see them again, you can reset tutorials.
I think the audience appreciates you reading your tutorial out loud that they can't see.
Should I reset tutorial?
Probably, considering you weren't paying attention last time.
Alright. Who the fuck should I be this time? Making my character.
Would you like the...
Because last time, I was a black magician.
Would you...
Let me tell you something, boys and girls. Probably the worst kind of magician.
Yeah, they made that one movie that, you know the one I'm talking about.
There's a Waverly Place?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the name of the fucking movie, babe.
Didn't turn out too well.
I didn't even know it came out. That's how much of a piece of shit it was.
It didn't turn out too well.
Can I be the Dark Urge?
No. Turns out Key and Peele were right. Black Hogwarts doesn't work. I can make that joke because they did it first.
These fucking sorcerers. Barbarian or fucking fighter?
Dylan, shut the fuck up. Go to your origin. You see it says custom. And you go to your race. You pick that first. Don't worry about class yet. Hold on. What do you want to be?
Do I want to be do I want to be a motherfucking barbarian or a motherfucking fighter?
You're gonna be one of those two things. Do everything else, then decide that. Think about it.
Athletics, acrobatic. Okay, so it's just like me.
Good things about fighters that I know of off the top of my head. They have a multi-attack. You can get it later.
I'll be that.
Hold on. Oh. Barbarians have a berserker rage, and also they have a special ability that I don't know if it's in this game, but in regular D&D, that if you get killed, you also don't die. You get 1 point of health left over.
Alright, I'm barbarian it is.
Also, you can just be the big, dumb, strong idiot that you want to be in this game. I know, I could feel it.
Thank you. I'm going to be the Hook.
I'm going to be the Hook.
What race am I? A half-orc or dwarf? Should I be a big, hip dwarf with a fat ol' ass?
I like that idea. Personally, I think you should be a Githyanki and look like David Bowie in The Labyrinth.
What's a that was funny enough, that was exactly who I clicked.
Speaking of David Bowie in The Labyrinth, can we talk about his bulge?
His fat old cock that he's got throughout the entire thing?
Hold on, Dylan.
Yes.
Let me give you a little tidbit of facts that Liz found out today. It turns out he stuffed 7 socks into his pants to make his bulge bigger on purpose. They said that it was used to enhance his devilish appearance. Hold on, let me find the exact phrase that
it looks like David Bowie right now.
I know. It really does look like David Bowie.
Holy shit.
They put 7 socks in his bulge to enhance his devil-like allure in the movie.
His devilish dick.
His devilish desires.
What, you have a devilish pecker, Mr. David
Why does
Bowie?
the halfling have jiggle physics on his man boobs?
That's ill. This looks like the lead singer for Motionless in White.
Oh, dude, I made him once.
Now it looks like David Draper from fucking,
Dylan, what race are you going?
Cthulhu. What the one that David Bowie?
You're really gonna be a Githyanki?
I don't know. What it would.
Well, expect
fine.
Racism.
All right, fine. I'll be a fucking something else.
No, you can do.
This is you need a guard. It says you need a guardian. Choose one. Is that not what I is that? Am I choosing a guardian or am I choosing me?
I don't know. I don't know how barbarian works. Wait, what do you? Wait, did you already click proceed?
Maybe.
Don't click proceed. Go back. You didn't pick everything yet.
Oh.
You click the things on the left. You click those to change stuff. don't want to be an elf. That's
It doesn't
stupid.
really allow me to change anything
You can
besides
change
like
their face.
strength and such.
You can change their appearance unless you haven't changed that. You already changed that.
Custom, Karlach, custom, edit appearance. Okay.
Dylan,
Let's
don't
make it a
don't
myth.
customize Karlach. Customize the origin character.
Gotcha. All right, quick timeout. I've got to pee so bad.
Okay, I'll stay here and you keep talking about things. I'll go back to this when Dylan gets back. But in the movie The Labyrinth, I saw it last weekend, and there was a very strange part where they go into the and they find the bog gang, and they're a bunch of 3 strange furry creatures, and their limbs just come off. And every time the limbs come off, they burst out in a song and dance, and then they start playing with each other's limbs. It was quite strange.
So when things get too tough and your chin is dragging on the ground, and even down looks up, bad luck.
I saw one and they all combined together. It was very weird. Was not a big fan of that part. It had David Bowie singing in a Jamaican accent. I didn't realize it was him. I thought it was a real Jamaican person. It's quite frightening. The spirit of the buffalo was within David Bowie. He channeled his inner Bob Marley. Fuck. Welcome back, Dylan.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
So anyway, while you were gone, I was talking about the bog gang from the Labyrinth as well.
What the fuck is that?
It's 3 strange individual creatures that have detachable limbs, and they start smacking themselves with them, and they can also combine them. Oh, that just looks silly. That looks silly.
You're a funny guy, eh?
That looks even sillier. Oh, that's terrible. A dragonborn monk is cursed. Oh, dude, that'd be so fucking funny.
A dragonborn monk?
Yeah.
The fuck does that even mean?
The dragon person, but he's a monk.
Very well.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
Not to read. Genitals.
Cheers,
Extra
gentlemen.
large.
Is it bad that
What?
I want to look at the dragon dick?
I'm trying to hide clothes. I'm trying to see which penis I like more. Huh. They straight up just go, oh, I can have a vulva. I will have a vulva. Very well.
Why do you want that?
Should I have a wolf and snatch? It's an uncircumcised penis you've got there.
I swear.
Wolf and snatch it is.
Dude's a fucking idiot.
Yes.
It's wisdom. I'm going to...
Maybe I do like this game after all. Hello, Liz. I'm having trouble with nothing. I've got it.
Okay.
I now am selecting my guardian.
Oh, dude, he's got a Fred Durst fucking soul patch. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
This guy's gonna be awesome. My guy's
Alright, let
skin
me make
color
sure.
is a red 40.
I'm gonna make sure that my the banned one. This one gives you cancer if you touch him.
I gotta, what does it look like? Dragon Wiener strange.
Dragon Wiener is strange.
Don't like, shouldn't have done. Now we look at dragon piercings.
Are they nipple piercing?
No, they're face piercings.
I'm venturing forth. I look like a fucking queen.
What? Oh, that's cool.
I look like a queen with vitiligo.
Mm.
I have reverse vitiligo.
I have osteoporosis. Oh, that's drippy. I gotta have that. Ooh, eye makeup for Dragon Man. Too bad you can't fucking see it. Oh, dude, you can customize his tail. That looks way more accurate to how a dragon would be. Nice. I'm a goddamn sage. I want to be a folk hero. No, I don't. He's not a folk.
A folk hero. Na 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 na.
Hold on, I need to consult the sacred text from my man's name. Ignis. Okay. Alright. What kind of booty call does my dragon get?
Excuse me?
I'm
I
thinking,
believe it's a donkey, if I remember correctly from the law.
no, it's a half. No, it's you know, I don't know. See, the funny thing
Hear
is,
ye, hear ye.
get out from under me, sir or madam, little fucker. This makes sense.
I look like an old lesbian currently.
Yeah, are you a man or a woman?
I am a man, but you would not know it.
I am a chair.
I have a chair. Wow, wee wah.
Wow, wee woo. You must be red.
I believe this name works with this one. Very well. I will be on my way. Carry on your way with her.
Well, bing 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 bing. Bop. All right, Dylan. What topics do you have for me today?
Oh shit, I forgot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your leader of men is back.
Why do you always grab the most disgusting creature known to man?
Me.
Danny Dorito?
Danny DeVito.
Alright.
Ignis.
Alright,
Whatever you
okay.
say.
You know what,
Sorry.
Dylan?
I forgot we were on the podcast.
You know what, Dylan? You're lucky that I was cutting this part anyway.
Thank you.
Now get all your stupid things out.
I keep forgetting this is a fucking point. Like a click and point fucking thing.
I must investigate here this egg pod.
Alright, you ready to start actual...
Yeah, now's a perfect time. We're investigating the egg pod. It's fragile.
Most of us just call that the uterus.
That's not what that is.
Oh.
That is
Understand.
that's not attached to a person, and I exploded.
You are dead. I am
blew
on
up.
fire.
I am
Wow,
a
wow, we
turd.
are.
Did that hurt you too?
No.
I have a pearl. Fuck you.
Oh. Yeah, well, fucking. You know. Pearls are.
All right, follow me through the
Weird.
sphincter, Dylan.
Sphincter?
Right
The
there.
sphincter of the gods.
Ugh. That was. I shouldn't have made that noise. Make sure you loot every money off them. Dylan, where are you
Oh, I
going?
didn't realize I could just move my
Where
fucking
are you going, Dylan?
Q to rotate. E and Q to rotate camera.
I'm gonna
Okay.
hit you with the neural apparatus if you don't stop. Here, we gotta get our little friend. Let me get our little friend.
This game's hard.
Yeah, it is actually.
It's like point and click shit is not. I don't know how to do this, Ben.
The part where you move is the difficult part of this game. It's not the
It
combat.
is. I don't understand it at all. I wish you could. I can't fucking understand it.
Dylan, you can use a controller.
All right. I'm thinking about a connect fucking controller.
The exposed brain quivers in expectation.
Hey, let's discuss the newest great thing to happen in this country. You know what that is? We called it a few weeks out from it actually happening.
What?
Jesse the Body Ventura is going to be the next vice president of the United States of America.
It's not confirmed.
I'm confirming it now. That's
No.
Jesse the Body
The body.
Ventura, I'm telling
He
you.
doesn't want to. He said,
Oh.
"I'm too tired and old. I can't do it."
I don't like this
watch
anymore.
me break this skull.
Gameplay keybinds. Can't I make it controller? How do I make it controller?
This is how you paladin. You punch everything until it explodes.
Do I interface? Is it interface that I'm doing? Something wrong? Do I have something misconnected?
The brain
That's
flows
cool.
from the skull. Do you notice an opportunity?
Well,
You could cripple the strange creature, making it more subservient should it prove a threat.
Why is there a cat under me? Who is that? Satan, go away. I don't want you.
Figured out. What the fuck is that?
It's a brain.
Mm.
It's got
Is this-
legs.
This is the thing from the thing. It
No,
looks like it's.
It's not a crab.
It's kind of cute.
The creature
It's kind of cute.
It's a child.
listening.
I'd kind of play with it.
That's what David Bowie was gonna turn that baby into in the labyrinth.
Ben, you're a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
Ben, I don't know if you know this or not, but you're a fucking dragon.
I'm aware.
How the fuck are you a dragon?
Did you not see the Dragonborn option?
What the fuck are you talking about? No, I saw it, but it was also a wizard, Harry. I didn't want to do with that.
Dylan, I told you about 17 times that the origin character doesn't matter. You can choose whatever class you want.
Well, I didn't pay attention. How's that?
Didn't we go over this?
Probably.
You know what, Dylan? Come here. Come here. Dylan, come here.
I'm trying. You bitch. If I knew how to do that back, I'd do it right fucking now. I'd do it, you son of a bitch.
See, that's the fun part. You don't. Did you get your controller working?
Nope. Pointing and clicking, bitch.
Well, you'll figure out how to be a real PC gamer soon enough. I sure hope an ugly goblin woman doesn't jump on me with a sword. Oh.
Holy shit, you called it.
Whoa!
David Bowie, but woman is here.
Wait, is she calling me an
Trans
abomination?
David Bowie.
I'm just a dragon.
Diana
yo.
Bowie's here.
Visions rush
Uh,
past. A dragon's wing, a
You know,
sword.
I saw a trans person on TikTok the other day that a woman showed me, and their Zer Hekatonkery was claiming to be 8 months pregnant. Would you like to know the ending to this story, Dylan?
Yes, I would actually.
It turns out she miscarried.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. Is this for you to choose or me?
It's for me. You can make a suggestion though.
Nope, you got it.
Doesn't matter.
That's
This one's stupid.
That's expected, honestly. I would
Why?
say it probably didn't take its prenatal vitamins.
Why is it unexpected, Dylan? Can't men
You mean
get
to
pregnant?
tell me that trans women, you mean somebody with XY chromosomes,
Male to
can't-
female, yes.
fucking carry a baby?
To term?
I think this is incorrect. I think you're simply a bigot, and you must obviously hate all trans people for who they are and what they believe, because they can't carry babies according to you, you fucking fascist.
You fascist slime. That's me in real life, because I'm a little demon. I'm the
My
little
child
tiny
will
man.
look like that little creature right there.
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
I expect. Actually, honestly, I
Wow.
think that's the child that came out of that Tranathan.
What, this little brain creature?
No, the fucking little demon here.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit
That's
that.
also Nick's child.
No, that's just Nick. What are you talking about? Get the fuck away from me, dude!
It says I don't have enough movement.
It's because you don't. You can move 30 feet. It's okay,
It says
though.
I can move 3
You'll be able
meters.
to move in your next turn, my friend.
Oh, do I not have a move yet? Oh, in turn. My bad.
Yeah, you gotta end your turn, and then you can...
I didn't realize that.
So the way D&D works is you can move 30 feet, and then you can take an action. And that action is usually hitting or casting a spell. In your case, more often than not, it'll be hitting something. And then you also have a bonus action that you can do.
Where the fuck did these guys come from?
If I was you, Dylan, I would try and familiarize yourself with your skills. And yeah, just keep doing that. That works.
Done. Danny Dorito's got an axe, and he's built for fucking around.
He fucks around and finds out.
Good critical hit there, sir.
Thank you. I did 1 damage because that's all he had left. Alright, now we loot these bitches. A scimitar?
You brought up something the other day that Liz asked you.
What
That
do
was,
aliens actually look like?
Oh, what do Asians look like?
Well, you want me to be technical?
I don't know. I'm curious by this thought, because I was like, I actually have straight up had a panic attack before, thinking about just like, why do we have the form that we do?
Yo, how about this? Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
What if they look like the archangels? The description of the archangels in like the testaments.
I think that's a reasonable thought.
What if the whole Bible came from Aryans?
Aryans?
No.
That's what you said. Oh, Aryans.
Dylan, you almost got me canceled.
I was confused. No, honestly, I was confused. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's been so long since I've spoke of the Asian language.
Since I spoke a language other than Mandarin, it's been so long.
It's just been so long. It's such a hard thing for
Follow me through the sphincter, my friend.
Brother, I have no idea how the fuck I played this so easily last time.
You're doing better this time than you did last time, Dylan. What are you talking about?
The point and click and like keeping up with like where the fucking camera angle goes.
Just use the WASD keys and you'll be okay. Push.
I don't understand.
Oh dear. I shouldn't have pushed that button. Sorry. Don't worry. Are you in combat? I'm gonna claw this guy.
It's K Daddy's turn.
Anyway, so what do you think?
Sorry, yeah. So like, I don't. It's a weird fucking thing for me to think about. having, like, why do we like move? Why do we look the way we do? Why do we like what evolutionary tactic does this teach us? Am I not supposed to be fighting something right now?
Oh, we killed him already.
Oh, well,
Get tab.
I've got this out.
Hit right click.
Right click. Right click. It's not working.
There you
Okay,
go.
there we go. Yeah, so like why do we look the way we do? It's just an interesting thought because like there's no evolutionary reason for consciousness in my eyes. Like it doesn't make sense that we would have an awareness to such an extent
The console
through evolution to say that like all right, this plays us good in terms of like why do like cuz we have realizations of the evils that we do. Well, like lions have no realization in terms of like I've killed a mother, like to eat it. I've
Yeah.
killed that mother's child, that to survive. Like I don't. There's not like evidence of that level of consciousness in other animals. So why do we have such a consciousness like awareness to where like we are aware of everything that we do, evil wise? That doesn't like it doesn't make sense to me that would be evolutionary beneficial. So and then also to like such an extent of that we have like animals that commit suicide. Like we have there are other humans that commit suicide. Like that doesn't make sense that would be a beneficial evolutionary thing. All right. So then that means
I mean,
that
it could be if you look at it a specific way, because that's how we have like. You could look at it as part of our survival instinct to better the species is to not be a cunt and kill people.
yeah, it's not about but like it's not because we're still territorial. So we still have all those instincts and like we still have awareness of also killing like other animals and shit. So then why would it be considered useful to have awareness of that thing? Why would it not just be like an purely instinctual thing that we don't really think about and ponder on?
Well, I think that's like the natural
but
law
either way,
from religion.
So I got a little off topic here, but gosh
this
damn it.
isn't aliens, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm also trying
This
to
is you
fucking figure
having
out
an
how to work
existential
this
crisis.
fucking game.
You click on everything.
But why we look the way we do makes no sense to me. Why we Ben,
What?
this game's pissing me off.
Why?
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how the fuck to look.
Look at what?
All right. Anything. Literally anything at any angle.
You use the
It's-
WASD
my angles-
keys.
It's Q and E are involved now too.
Q and
But-
E pans the camera. It like rotates the camera, and then WASD move it.
This is so
I swear to-
fucking infuriating.
It is not. It is literally the simplest.
I don't think you understand how infuriating this is for me.
Well, why is
I'm
it
also a person-
infuriating? It's fucking simple, Dylan.
It's not to me. I swear. Like it's there's something like I've been reading up on like ADHD and technology, and like there's a reason like ADHD people fucking hate technology, and it's because like the simplest things just triggers to be fucking infuriated by technology because it just doesn't. If it doesn't work right, it there's something about it that if it just doesn't
does work
logically make
right.
sense in our
It
head.
does make sense.
Not to fucking me, then. What the fuck are you arguing?
I don't understand how it doesn't make sense.
You have grown up playing these fucking games.
Why doesn't it make sense?
I don't know. I couldn't fucking tell you, but it is. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense, and it's infuriating me currently. I'm just slowly trying to get the hang of it. All right.
You're slowly starting to make me cry.
Good. Fucking I hope you do. You
Why?
pissed me off now.
That's not my fault, you retard.
10 fucking seconds.
It's not my fault Q and E are incomprehensible to you.
Yeah, they are. Well, I'm a QAnon guy, not a Q and E.
That was terrible.
The console appears
Thank you. But why do we think the way we do? Why do we look the way we do?
Why do we think
like-
Q and E are stupid?
Because yeah, that's the thing. It just makes no sense.
Hums delight.
For what the fuck is? Oh, she keeps screaming. Okay. Um.
Oh. Nat 20. Nice.
Get me out of this thing.
Organic lines
What do we do here?
I'm interacting with this thing.
perhaps it will
I'm reading into it.
Isn't it we don't move and then it's fine, or we do and then she dies?
She doesn't die. You want to do the funny thing?
your head.
Well, it was funny last time because we were told not to do it.
Yeah, it's still funny just killing somebody though.
Yeah, let's
You
kill
think
her.
I'm not gonna kick that squirrel later on and I get the opportunity?
Why don't we look like what do aliens look like? I think aliens probably look. I like the thought of them being. I like the thought of them being like bodhisattvas in the Buddhist religion, or like guardian angels in like the Christian religion, to where they just
That's your
are beings outside of this world, extraterrestrial things that are,
Isn't that the
you know,
definition of
probably in
it?
the other dimension that reveal themselves to us, as like Alex Jones likes to call them, like the interdimensional beings and such. That, but also it makes
Wait,
no
but don't you
sense.
not believe in other dimensions?
No, I do. What do you mean?
Wait a minute.
I give a theory as to why I think that.
Oh wait, no, you. Okay, never mind. I know where I messed
Yeah,
up.
I give
You
a
don't
theory as
believe
to
in the
why.
multiverse theory. You believe in other dimensions though.
Correct. Yeah, multiverse.
Why don't you
I
believe
believe
in multiverse but you believe in other dimensions?
Because for multiverse theory, that would mean that the timelines have to be different, and so then it makes the universe. There's like a philosophical understanding that the universe that we live in is the best possible thing, because like the way that time works and everything, it just wouldn't. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble like getting these philosophical thoughts in while also trying to play this stupid fucking game.
Connected to the pot.
Don't just take your time and breathe.
Change.
It's hard to. I'm sorry.
Just collect your thoughts and stop getting angry. Watch this person melt and her intestines fall out.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. We got another Cthulhu on our hands, don't we?
Howdy.
Let's fuck this bitch up.
Changed at the pull of a lever. How? If we are not purified.
Ooh, my
this
mouse
will
is
be our
touching her
fate.
boob. Sorry.
I don't like her nose.
I don't
Her
like
nose-
her.
Her
They
nose
try
looks
to
just
push her
like
as like the
Stephen
main
Bell, I swear.
character. Like there's like the main marketing character and she's not a nice person. There's nothing else in here, Dylan. I got everything.
I believe in other dimensions. I don't believe in a multiverse because, like, the way in which the space-time continuum works here, it doesn't make sense that then there would be, like, like this is the best of all possible outcomes. Because like,
Why is it the best of all
I don't know.
possible outcomes?
Because all right, so if there is a multiverse, okay, so if there are other universes, then they would not interact with ours in any way,
We are nearing the head.
because the space-time continuum that we live in would be affected if those universes interacted with ours.
Yeah.
Okay, like,
But that
So-
doesn't mean they don't exist.
okay, well, there are questions to ask and there are questions to not. This is a question that's beyond giving a fuck for me.
Well, hold on, but it's a legitimate question.
I think that it's possible, but we'll never know, because it just as much as like we will never see, like, we don't see heaven from this earth, like it's in a different place in time. It's outside of this space and time. Then those other universes would be outside of the space and time.
But what if there was like a singularity event and they converged on each other?
That wouldn't be a thing.
Why not?
Because it wouldn't be to where these universes can interact because of each one having their own space-time continuum. Because if you go off the philosophy from mine, which is that there is a greater, like there is an ultimate being outside of this space-time continuum, that outside of this universe, and that ultimate being is what like we will like basically converge into once we die, once we choose to be wholly good and go through the purification process of purgatory. Once we go through that to interact and like become one with that again, that it doesn't like that requires the space-time continuum to be
Linear?
to not fuck with anything else. It requires it to not fuck with anything else because it requires it to be linear because there's no way that you would have like reincarnation to where something comes out of this universe and back into it without affecting like if it moved at different points in the timeline of this universe.
Well, what if when you do
Then
reincarnate?
you could possibly pop out of existence because free will exists. So then somebody has the free will to possibly kill your 7th great grandfather in a fucking bar fight because he's an old Irish fuck, and somebody might have stabbed him in one universe and not in the other. Well, you would pop out of existence in this one, but you don't. People don't pop out of existence in these universes. So then that would be like that would mean that these have to be linear and they cannot interact
But what
with
if
these
your
other
souls
ones.
can
It
interact
wouldn't
with
make
the
logical
other
sense.
universes?
Sorry, repeat your what if.
What if your souls could interact with other universes, and that's what happens when you reincarnate? Is you jump into another universe?
Into another universe, okay, but it's not this one.
It still would.
I'll accept that. But also, that would mean like that's the thing. It can never be back in this universe.
But the other question is, if the multiverse, how would we know that it's not that they're not interacting? Because as we perceive it, time is still going forward.
Exactly. So they wouldn't be able to interact without them jumping into this universe at this exact time, and they cannot interact with anything in the past.
No, it would, because each universe is running along the same path, right? So if something did come
not
over,
necessarily.
you wouldn't notice.
Their space-time continuum would be different than our space-time continuum.
What if it was like a railroad track and like it was like switching the track if you do something and you flip into a different one when you choose?
So that's
that
like I mean, there's the question in like where does our mind go when we sleep?
Yeah, I was gonna get there.
That's like, do you possibly live in other universes in that moment? I don't believe in that. It just because like
I wouldn't say that you could live in another universe. If I was going to say it, I would say you're more like peering into the other universe, like as a yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I giggled at that because it's a band.
Yeah.
But I would say like dreams aren't you controlling your other universe, but it's you peering through their vision into what is a possibility.
Sure, but why would there be another universe with your soul like in the same space-time continuum if you're not conscious of it? Because the whole thing is that what we're working towards as this conscious being that we have been created for, we're working to re-engage ourselves with God, with the whole good.
But it's not necessarily the same soul either.
Then that would make no sense for you to interact with them if to peer into it.
No, I didn't say.
It's not
said not necessarily the same soul. It could be different pieces of a soul that come together at the end to make a whole.
That wouldn't necessarily make much sense either. Okay, so let me backtrack. Okay, so God, so we're like, I believe, this is my philosophy with this. This is also like if you're asking my beliefs, this is my belief. Okay, you don't have to agree with this. I believe that we were created from God, from this whole being outside of this space and time, stepping in, out of love. Out of love, it created something to share. Mm-hmm.
So, but what if, like you said, he's outside of this space and time? Who's to say that there's not other ones, though?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there can be, but they cannot converge. They would not interact. So, time out. All right, listen. Out of love, God created beings. Okay. Mm-hmm. When He created beings, to spread its love, like when God created beings to spread love, and so that they would like choose to out of free will to to converge back with them, creating more love in the universe, so that it like to interact with it. Then we would like we have to choose through free will, and so God would not directly interact unless we ask Him to. like with this universe kind of thing. That's why like when people fully like give up their lives to God, all of a sudden things start happening, and it's like I see that as like you fully like engorge yourself to where you say God please, and you're true about this. You say God please interact with through me, and then you finally align yourself with the good. So not necessarily God doing these things, but you're finally on the path of goodness leading towards these things. So you as a whole, you as an individual, so this is also like where I know you don't like the idea of us being one giant consciousness, but I think we're all strings leading back to the eternal consciousness that is God. And so that would be the thing that we lead back to. So it wouldn't make sense for our branches to have branches. Like that would mean that then we're a part of God, or like that we're kind of a God because we're over these other things. It just doesn't make sense to
Having
me.
multiple branches doesn't necessarily mean that we'd be over God or be our own God.
No, we'd be over the next step, like the next form of consciousness below us, which wouldn't really make sense. Like in my philosophy, my thoughts. So yeah, it just would like you as an individual are what's like you would lead back to God. Okay, so I don't limit the amount of individuals that could exist, but there is a limitation in this space-time continuum as to the amount of individuals that can exist at this current point in time because of like just this earth only like 100 billion people have lived in the existence of the earth, and right now only 8 billion are alive. So that means that not every soul that has interacted with this earth could be here reincarnated right now. So, and they also can't reincarnate in the past. Therefore, the only possibility would be that they possibly are interjected into other space-time continuums that cannot interact with this one. There you go.
Or
like
they could just be floating around.
That's where that's where like there's the Buddhist idea of like the bodhisattva, which are like at like a different section, or like the idea of like an archangel or like a guardian angel. So it's this spirit that is like human, and when it dies, like the bodhisattvas will not enter into nirvana. They purposely sit at the gate. They take a vow to sit at the gates basically before they enter into nirvana until all humanity is in the state of nirvana. And so that's why I like nirvana is a state, not a state of being, not like a place like heaven is described as. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that. And so the same thing with hell. Hell is a state of being, not a place. So we like the bodhisattvas like can interact and interject like with other like with humans in this world to like say, hey, get your fucking shit in line. That's why all of a sudden like some people that are like hardcore drug addicts have one crazy thing happen to them out of nowhere, and it makes them realize. It's why fucking Robert Downey Jr. ate that Whopper and was like, this tastes like shit, I should get sober. Because there was more for him to do. Something interjected in that time in his mind that wasn't exactly logical to then say, hey, get your fucking shit together. And then it changed lives, like extremely. Changed other people's lives. Just because his changed. That one changed.
Stan Lee's life.
Yeah. Fucking Jon Favreau's.
Now he makes a mediocre Star Wars show.
We must go to
so yeah, I don't know. Where else are you, what are you thinking from that? Where are you wanting to ask?
Why do you think dimensions can exist but not multiverse?
So the first dimension is the first plane of existence. Mm-hmm. And then the second dimension are where the planes are now perpendicular, and like there's 2D things, two-dimensional creatures in existence, and like understanding like this game is a 2D thing. And then we interact with the 3D world through 4-dimensional understanding and the physical touch, that is like nerves and shit. And then there's this thing outside of all of this to where like, where does thought come from? and thought comes from something outside of this world, because it doesn't exactly make sense that, because you have an ability to control your thought beyond just your body. And so if thought was purely a four-dimensional thing that exists through the firing of neurons because of your body's existence, you would then be subject to where like you know how people get hangry and like they're more irritable. Well, that's because their mind isn't conditioned and like fully in line with goodness and things, so that then they allow this physical body to interact and with their mind, and for it to change their way of thinking. But then there are monks that will sit and literally starve to death in a state of pure bliss of meditation. It's like so like Ram Dass, the spiritual teacher, he talks about like it's hard for him to come out of meditation to simply come teach, because there is such a state of pure bliss and love that he feels in that state of pure meditation, that he doesn't want to leave, but he knows that the path of righteousness, the path that he is meant to be here on this earth, is aligned with the matter of like he has to come teach. So that's where like I think those dimensions make sense. So like I would think consciousness is a fifth dimensional thing outside of this existence that flows. Like there's a state, thoughts are like an energy, and those energies flow, and your mind is the receptor. Think of like radio waves, and then you have an antenna, and your mind is the antenna that picks up those radio waves, and you have the ability to, through conditioning your mind and through aligning yourself with goodness, to either take, like it's why like we have intrusive thoughts. All of these radio waves come through and our antenna catches them. All these thoughts come through and like our consciousness, and we have the ability to take them seriously or to not. It's when you have like these thoughts come through and you think negatively when you were feeling just fine a second ago, you have the ability to say, fuck off. No, that's not what I'm thinking about. Like, that's not my thing. And same thing is like, oh, I'm going to be bitchy because I'm hungry. It's you're allowing your physical body to interact with this thing that is beyond, that is metaphysical. It's beyond the physical. So therefore, yeah, like that, there are dimensions in my mind. There are dimensions outside of this. But for a multiverse to exist, like I said, these dimensions are in this space-time continuum. These exist inside of this continuum. Therefore, like, you can't have other ones interact with it because of the reasons I gave earlier. Does that make sense? There can be also planes of existence in this continuum. That's where I think the bodhisattvas sit, and like where like we would call our guardian angels or angels, archangels, so on and so forth. So for like this specific universe, there are those planes of existence above this one, but they don't interact directly with other universes.
So if the stream of consciousness is separate from our bodies, correct?
Correct.
So, if you could look at it like this, here's a question: is, if our consciousness are separate from our bodies, when our bodies die, would you think that could lead to the fifth dimension being where our consciousness resides, and it could interact with our people that aren't dead yet?
Yeah. So that's where I say karma is the thing that would interact with the people that aren't dead yet. And then we can, I think, through like being an angel, through being a ghost, like basically would be the word. But like, so like biblically, like angels are not dead humans. Angels are separate.
No,
but
they're
like
just other creatures that inhabit the fifth dimension.
Yeah. And so we'll call them, let's say dead humans, we'll call them ghosts. Okay. And so then ghosts can interact to an extent, but for the same reason, like I just said, like they don't, like God would not will it that we directly interact with these things, but instead like are the things that we learn. So like the whole thing like with the bodhisattvas is you don't interact with this world until somebody wants to like
Right.
get better, until somebody wants to like actually enter into nirvana and they need help. So then it's the same thing. You don't directly intervene unless somebody needs that help, but they're like so close to being right there, they just don't know what to do the good or to become part of the good, to align themselves with the good. Then you interact. That's when you have the permission from the greater being to then interact. Because yeah, it wouldn't make sense that willy nilly like you're but like
Why wouldn't it make
also
sense?
like the karmatic like that's where like it's so important for you to spread more good on this earth, because the more karmatic like energy of goodness that you uh, create around you and around your people, the more that you affect the world in goodness, and the more that like this matters, the more that your life matters so much that it will affect people for generations. That's what like ending generational trauma and getting yourself in the line with goodness is so important.
But why wouldn't it make sense for God to allow a spirit or ghosts, say, to interact with us?
Um, because not all are good. So
No, yeah, it's true. Not all are good, but
so
wouldn't
it
that
would
fall
be
into
like
free will too? Because wouldn't our consciousness still have that free will?
you have but that's where purgatory is, because all right, so when you die, I believe that you enter into purgatory, and at purgatory simply means the place where beyond this plane
All
of
right, hold on.
existence.
Before you get further into purgatory, Dylan, what if you have a choice if you can go into purgatory or not?
Just hold on. So purgatory is the plane of existence beyond your death, where where God reveals itself. At that moment, God is good. Good is God. God is a wholly good creature outside of this space-time continuum that like basically led to our existence, okay? And so to you have the choice through your state of being of pure whole energy consciousness, like through that state of being, through the thing that is you, through the individual that is you, to choose whether to turn towards the good and interact with this universe, righting the wrongs of the karmatic wrongs and the evils that you have like done, to right those wrongs, admit to them, and then move forward. Or you have the choice to to deny and then turn your back to goodness, and that would then put you in a state of evil, aka hell.
Well, not going to
So
purgatory wouldn't necessarily mean you're choosing that to be evil.
no, but so
I mean, because
I
what
don't
if
think
it's not
I think we're missing
that's
the
a
concept.
very like black and white choice to make.
Yes, it's duality. I do believe in duality. I believe that in this world, that we exist in, there is gray. There is not duality of choice. It's where like so the extreme stealing situation. Okay, and so in that situation, it's a single mother. She lives in a city. She has no opportunity to hunt or anything like that. There's no outside circumstances. There are no outside things beyond what I am saying right here. Okay, so there are no outside circumstances that are possibilities. So simply, this woman needs to feed her child. Her child will die if she does not feed it. She comes across a window where there is a pie on the windowsill cooling. She has the choice to either steal it or not. She has the choice to choose. Like in Kantianism, there is this idea that things are basically, if everybody can do it, then it's a good. If everybody can't, then it's not. Well, can everybody steal? No, because at the end of the day, that means that somebody's going to be empty-handed. So their evil, it lies in she will have to steal. But what is also evil is letting her baby die. So there are greater evils. So then there are gray areas in this existence. But those grays don't exist outside of Earth. Earth is what creates the gray. So
I don't agree.
this is just my philosophy. Explain why.
I don't think God
Because
would just say if you don't want to go on and go to the afterlife and finish what you've done. I don't think you would just become evil because of that.
No, it's not. It's you work towards doing goodness. And so that it comes in interacting with other. I think there's a misunderstanding. Yeah. And so it comes in interacting with this universe and creating more karmatic good and being a bodhisattva and being an angel that interacts in some way towards like you're helping those people. What we like those ghosts then interact through energies or through possibly in dreams. Like I've seen my dad in dreams before and it's made me kind of change my thoughts. You've had dreams that have changed your life, have you not? So that's where I don't disagree with you that these ghosts interact with us to some extent, but I don't believe that they interact to so much so that we don't have our own individual choices. Like
No, they
to where
would
like
interact to
they
where we couldn't
basically
make that choice.
it would make no sense for these things that
Well-
have died before to hand you a book and if you and you follow that. Like that doesn't make sense. You as an individual have to make the choice
The
to do the
concept you're
goodness.
explaining is spirit guides. They don't tell us how to do it, but they give us like nudges in which direction we want to go. We directions to where we should go. Like they don't.
Yes,
They don't
and those
outwardly
spirit
say it.
guides are ghosts that are humans that have formerly died.
The woman would like to make a statement. If you're okay with that, she's poking me.
I like the conversation. I just that's the thing. I want us to get to like an understanding. And like,
I think we're getting there.
yeah.
I would like to point out, sorry to intrude, but spirit guides simply are there for you whenever you need to be protected. And I'm saying that in a sense because everyone has to be protected in their life on a daily basis. So whenever something happens, say if you like forget your keys at home or you forgot something back at the house, you have to go back to get that. Well, that's your guides telling you that you cannot be out at that time because something bad was going to happen to you.
That's so that's a possibility, but like once again, not provable possibility kind of thing. Like, but like I mean, that's like there's an episode of Malcolm in the Middle that always comes to my mind when like I think of these things because I've thought of similar things before, and like there's a scene where Hal, the main character, Bryan Cranston, like or the dad, I'm sorry, not the main character, Bryan Cranston, like stops to tie his shoe, and when he stopped to tie his shoe, it took exactly 8 seconds. Well, when they're driving down the road, he sees a car wreck happen like 3 cars in front of him, and it's like a massive car wreck, and he stops and like he just has this epiphany that like had he not stopped to tie his shoe, then they would have all been in that car wreck. And so that is a thing like to where like I think that is some interaction, but also that would mean then that like children don't have spirit guides to some extent. Like that's where the slippery slope of that comes in, to where like whenever a child gets their fucking head taken off because they were sitting in they weren't in their high chair whenever they got in a fucking wreck, and then all of a sudden they go through a windshield. Like yeah, like that's a very illogical, like that's a greater evil. That's a great evil. So like spirit guides to an extent make some sense, but also there are logical flaws in them. That's where I say like there's not like, but okay, so let's get to then this. What is evil? So God is wholly good. This thing created us out of love, created beings, humans, and all creation wholly good in its initial creation, and what it purely is a form of goodness created, okay? But through free will that is provided, you then may choose to go against the good. Evil is not like evil is the privation of good. Okay, so good exists, and then the opposite, it's not like all right, so look at evil like cold is to heat. So heat doesn't exist scientifically. Cold doesn't exist scientifically. Cold is the absence of heat. I'm sorry, I fucked that up. Did that make sense? Sorry, I know I fucked that up right there. But like you know that like the cold is a state of the absence of heat. Evil is the state of the absence of goodness. So evil exists because like it's written in like how it's explained in the Bible is that there was a choice there where pride came in. So Lucifer chose to act against God, and pride, and believing that it was like as powerful as God, and so then he got damned into like the eternal fire and whatever. But also, like, I believe that even Lucifer should be redeemable to like it should be redeemable, because in its existence through creation by an all eternally good thing, it would then still be able to be all eternally good. But Christians don't like that conversation so much. But either way, like, so then with humans, it's explained in like biblically as like, well, Adam and Eve, like Eve took a bite of the apple, and then Adam took a bite, and then God came down and didn't say, you did fucking wrong. God asked, hey, Adam, what did you do? And Adam immediately, instead of taking ownership, instead of like in this purgation, in this fire of burning away the evils of possibility, in correcting that karmatic evil of turning against God, instead of turning towards God and then admitting fault and saying, I fucked up. Instead of doing that, Adam said, the woman to which you put on this earth gave this apple to me, and then tried to place the blame somewhere else, creating now two evils instead of just one. So that's where I believe evil that's where evil was kind of created, and then has then basically I see the world in like pluses and minuses, and there's this abundance of all creation that are pluses, and then through actions there are minuses that take away some of the good from this like beautiful good like that is. I guess it should be more ones and zeros. Like everything is a one, and then through an action, it's a zero. Like it just creates evil because there's now like this gap in goodness. But either way, like that evil has now like abundantly, exponentially grown to such an extent that now like children are born with cancer, and like fucking people are born to where they are not conscious in themselves. Like there are mentally retarded people. There are people that have like ADHD and shit to where like you make irrational fucking decisions. But I believe that your consciousness outside of this earth will be in its purest form when you die, and so that you can make the purest decision possible to turn towards the goodness, because you will then have everything revealed to you through the immaculate revelation of death, to then know wholeheartedly that God does exist. And so then you can choose to put yourself in alignment with the good, or turn your back and say pridefully, no, I don't think I was wrong here, and thus still creating this chain of evil, still allowing that evil to exist.
That's the black and white area that I'm talking about. You're not necessarily turning your back on God himself if you're not ready to go into purgatory.
No, that is purgatory. That is purgatory.
Purgatory is technically the space
Purgatory is
between
the state.
heaven and hell.
But yes, but it's the place just beyond when we die, because like like on this earth we cannot wholeheartedly 100% prove God's existence. Like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Purgatory is the state of being right when you die, to where God is then revealed to have existed. And so at that point you're given, I believe, like the angels have a knowledge beyond us. That's how it's biblically written. I think that then you are given the knowledge of God. You're given the knowledge of good and evil. It's how it's written, like in the Garden of Eden, they bit of the fruit of good and evil. Like it would be then you have that knowledge wholeheartedly given to you. And so you now know, I can turn towards the good, or I cannot. That is like duality. I don't believe in duality of existence on this earth, like in choice, but there is duality in what exists outside of this earth.
Well, why would there be duality in the fifth dimension if there isn't in this one?
Because that's then you have understanding of God. So it still is black and white to an extent, but Like, because like evil has such a grasp in this world. Evil has no grasping outside of this earth. This earth is the only place that evil exists, because everything created is good. Everything outside of this space-time continuum is good. It is God. And so you have the choice to then align yourself with the good, which is outside of this world, or stay of this world and choose evil, turn yourself against that good.
Okay, well, riddle me this. So, do you believe in souls and stuff like that?
That's what we're discussing. Yeah, that's like what the ghost is the soul.
Okay, so what I am saying right now is coming from pure heart, kindness, and I'm not trying to mean anything bad by it, I promise. All I'm saying is our souls are the things that puts us on this earth. Because if I look back at my soul and if I could give you my soul and show you what my soul was like, I have lived thousands of years. I go back to a place that wasn't even on this earth.
Okay, so yes, like there is the string of things that like led to you existing. So this is where there is an eternal consciousness that we all connect back to. Simultaneously, we are individuals as much as we are one. We are infinitely not one as much as we are one. So one of the like concepts in philosophy that's hardest to get, like when you first walk into a philosophical like a philosophy class, they should teach you first that you can hold two things to be true that are contradictory. So I believe that we are individuals. Oh fuck! Sorry, Tater just scratched the piss out of me. I believe that we are simultaneously infinite individuals as much as we are infinitely one, leading back to God. We all imagine that we all have tethers strapped to our backs and all leading back in line back to that one thing that started it all. And that would be God. So yes, like you're the soul that is you, that is your consciousness interacting with this world right now. Yes, it does trace back to those things, but you are also an individual separate from your mother, your father, their grand, like their mothers and fathers and so on and so forth. So they are individuals as well as we are still like connected to them. So you as an individual, yes, do exist in this timeline and right in the now, but part of you that is the thing that is God traces back the thousands of years back to like the existence of the creation of humanity. Okay, like I that's where I say.
I understand where you're coming from. I could get your behind your perspective of it. I could, yeah. But here's another thing. If you believe in souls, then another thing that is 100% possible, and I'm just speaking because I see these things, and you know that I do. Well, you hopefully know that I do, but I know Ben knows. His mom knows. And I can see spirits. I know I can. I've been able to see them ever since I was young. But our souls have that choice of either going on with God or going to, maybe purgatory or hell or staying on this earth. Because sometimes whenever our physical being bodies die, our souls can stay on this earth to help other people in this world.
Yes, and so that would be you in purgatory, your soul in purgatory, righting the karmatic wrongs that were performed in this life. So that's where you can make the bodhisattva vow to choose to not enter into nirvana, not enter into heaven, and still interact with this earth, helping other individuals get to the state of nirvana as their individual selves. Or you can also just go ahead and enter into nirvana as a soul, as an individual.
I would like to make a statement. We've been going around thinking the same thing, but using different words and thinking we were thinking separate things.
Yes.
No, I know that y'all are thinking the same thing as me. We just use different words. Yes, that's like we're on the same page. We're just different ways of saying it. That like that's the thing. Like the reason that like I say some specific things is just because like there has to be logical consistency with certain words, and because of philosophy, I have to stay to the words that I'm saying. Because I can't have that logical inconsistency because then it creates a bullshit fucking argument for somebody to make.
All right. Well.
To make a logical whole.
So we're on the same page.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Because we're at an hour and 15 minutes, and I don't want to edit more than I have to.
Don't worry, the visual editing is gonna be easy as fuck.
Yeah, we made it. This part takes like 20 minutes in the game, and we've been sitting here for an hour and 15.
You just ran in circles for a fucking solid minute.
I ran in
Yeah,
circles
I just
until Liz
like the
showed
whole
up.
thing with like you have to be an individual because like Liz, like what you were talking about, like where you lived hundreds of lives and like that. Okay, so you connect back through all of these individuals, but the thing like that would mean then that your soul is reincarnated. Okay, well that means then that like from each individual life. Well then that would mean that the God that created us, that wanted to share its love, then limits itself in the amount of love that it can spread to this world by only creating a certain amount of souls. It's why like I don't believe in like I believe it's the Mormon religion has it's where like 440 people make it into heaven and that's it. Like that doesn't make logical sense because that would mean that God then limits itself to who can then enter into heaven. So no, there are infinite souls of individuals that are created. However, they all trace back to the one creator that is God. It's why like I don't believe in evolution, or I don't believe in reincarnation because 110 billion people have existed in this universe, but only 8 billion are alive now.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop you there because I want you to think on something. Now, you don't have to answer me immediately. I literally want you to get deep in thought on this.
This is the cliffhanger.
So,
Probably.
when you think of life, right?
Yes, it's very nice.
You think of it as something that we can only be in because we have a limited amount of time. But here's my riddle for you that I want you to think on, and I want you to just really just sit down and think so hard that your brain starts hurting.
That's already happening, Liz. You have to remember, I'm a philosophy major talker. Most of this shit, like this is what I wrote my like philosophical thesis on. So like yeah, like this shit like yeah, like I trust me, I'm deep in thought right now.
So I want you to think of this. We as humans can reincarnate. And hear me out. Whenever we reincarnate, we don't remember anything from our past life. That's why you go on a spiritual journey, to see if you can remember that. And with that being said, I want you to sit and think.
But hold on, no, because just real quick, just this is my belief, like this is my rebuttal because I've had that exact conversation. It's just my only belief against that is just because of what I said. Like the reincarnation doesn't make sense because it's a limitation of the amount of love spread through souls. They're the amount of love spread through individuals created. Because if we are individuals and we reincarnate, then that means that is one less individual created to then that gets to experience this world, because this world is going to end. Yes, like that is a scientific fact. So then the matter is that we have to spread as much, like that God it created us, that holy good thing needs to spread as much of its love in this confined, limited universe as possible until that ends. Therefore, we wouldn't reincarnate per se as the same soul, but we would have these generational karmas that come through, which you may then be privy to have enlightenment. Like you as an individual can have like this be privy to understanding it better of these generational like and like peek through the veil in a way of like seeing the past lives. However, you are still an individual separate from those things. You are learning though through this karmatic line of events to get to the ultimate version that is you as an individual. The ultimate Liz that then is God, a piece of God. You are an ultimate. You are a piece of God, individually. So we would just then agree to disagree. Like I have thought on that. Like that's just my belief on that.
I understand where you're coming from. Like, trust me, I know. My family has been religious for years, but
I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not. This is just philosophy, not religion.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
also think of it like this. Yes, God is technically still giving the love to the humans that have lived on this earth and has not been on this earth for that long. But the souls that get reincarnated, what they do is they erase all of the memories. They remember nothing. But they still have that traumatic like impression down in their, system, because that's what happens whenever like you die.
That would be the karmatic energy that's passed on through generational trauma.
Yes, but
There are scars in you as an individual through the genetic passing down. Yeah.
But the also thing is that whenever you look at like your past and the traumas that you have, and I know that every human being has traumas. I know this. Trust me, I have my own. But the traumas that I have is just something that my family has put upon me or other people has put upon me. But I'm also helping my ancestors through myself, helping them get through their traumatic past.
Yes, you're correcting the trauma, or you're correcting the evils that were done through their existence. And so they are also helping you in correcting their, like, that's so think of so like in Islam it's known as like the fire of purification. So through them existing, through you, through their like bloodline not coming to an end, through that and through you existing right now, you are able to correct some of the evils that were passed down to you. That's where, like what we were talking about earlier. Okay, so the first evil was Adam and Eve, right? And then that one evil started, and then it created the chain of events leading to now. And so you are through the now correcting past traumas and current, like past evils and current evils in your own life, in your own actions. And so you're correcting both. One good is worth infinite evils, and correcting infinite evils. Like we can't understand that. So yes, I agree with you. I just would see it in a different light of you being an individual correcting those past things. I just wouldn't see you being the same as that individual, because that's where the limitation of souls comes in, that I would disagree with philosophically.
So what you're saying is...
I dig your style, though. I think we're exactly like fucking parallel with each other with that thought process. It's just a matter of like we just put different words on it, and then I say, yeah, it's semantics of I believe in individuality versus, and like the matter of God spreading whole love like to the most amount in this finite universe.
Okay.
So that would mean like, yeah, we need more individuals, not reincarnated individuals.
Well, here's my
So there'll be a limitation of souls.
here's
Sorry.
my other question. Have
Okay.
you ever tried sitting down, meditating, and thinking about a past life?
Past life specifically, no, but have I done meditation? Yes, very much so. Like that's why like I believe so much in like Ram Dass's teachings and such. Just past life. What I think that you might be privy to and like these genetic passing downs of like experiences, but you yourself as the individual that is Liz the soul that is Liz has not specifically existed there, but those things have passed down to be you.
I understand what you're saying.
So it
Yeah.
seems like the base difference in your all's philosophies is that you think that you've had the same soul the whole time, while Dylan thinks it's generations of souls that are like familial.
He believes that souls get like, it's kind of like a pick and choose type thing. Like you get to pick what soul you have coming into this earth, correct?
Well, you are you are a soul like created. You're a different soul each time created at that moment of conception.
Yeah, see, that's
at that
where
moment of,
we're-
well, I don't know about that. All right, so once again, that's where I probably differentiate from the religious side of at the moment of conception, because I don't really think that makes much sense. It's weird that our consciousness doesn't really come about until the age of like 3 or 4. That's where the philosophy comes like a weird gray area of I don't fucking know.
Well, to be fair, some people does have consciousness before then, because I had
Yeah,
consciousness.
I have
at
a
the
memory
age
from
of
when I was like
1.
1.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's really weird. It is really fucking weird. That's just where like, yeah, it's really hard to fucking say. But like that's where like I do think like abortion's not good. Outside of like, well, it's not good. That's where that's where the gray comes into the human is like abortion from rape makes sense. It's also 0.1% of all abortions are done because of rape. So then like, yeah, it's not good to kill a baby because that was definitely gonna be a baby. But also, if it came from rape, that's where the gray comes in, where it's like, you have the right to choose to deal with that fucking shit as you please, because that's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. I think we're very much on the same page. We just
we just see it a little
just
differently.
take two floats about. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're two sides of the same coin.
Pretty much.
But again, with the thing with abortion, I think even if like their parent or like the mother decides that if their child is like, okay, maybe we don't need this or we don't want this baby, there is the possibility that they could just take and like, give it out for adoption. But
100% agree.
But there's also something telling them in their mind, hey, maybe this spirit does not want to be on this earth right now.
100% agree. Yeah, that's where, like, that's the gray of the human existence. Is that there are evils done for good reasons. There are goods done for evil reasons. That's the gray of the human existence. Of not knowing wholeheartedly where this line of, like, what you would say that line of individual would go. Like, where, like, that person might have been reincarnated into that baby, and then it just gets ripped apart. So, like, that would then suck to be that individual that's then reincarnated, because you're not only you're a part of, like, you were the product of rape. But, yeah, yeah, there's a bigger philosophical discussion there as well in terms of like evils and gray areas and such. That's another one that's like just an example of the gray of human. There's no duality here, but there is duality of existence in terms of like God exists, that's wholeheartedly good, and when you turn away from it, that's the privation of good, which is then evil. Evil does not exist outside of this universe, in my eyes.
Well, I see where you could come from that, but I do believe that there is a greater evil out there that is causing everything to happen in such way. Because like you said with Lucifer, and I'm not trying to speak bad of Lucifer, I love the dude to death, but
as you should in a way.
I mean, but all I'm saying is he decided to do that because what God was wanting is something that he did not want, because he only wanted to worship one person.
This is where taking the Bible literally becomes too much of a philosophical thing for me. This is where I use it simply to give examples so that it's easier to grasp around. I don't particularly believe much of it to be a reality. Yeah. However, I did see a really good argument today about 12, one of the people that was in Richard Nixon's cabinet, when he left office, he became a Christian and said, I tell you what, I'm becoming a Christian because the fact that the 12 apostles all were tortured and murdered to death, and they stuck by their guns saying, no, this dude fucking resurrected and was God. They all kept to their story through their ages, from dying at the age of 30 all the way up to 70. but fucking the 12 members of Nixon's cabinet all turned on each other the second that motherfucker went down. So
Okay,
that's
I have a question for you. As a
was just
philosopher,
an
I want
interesting
your
thing.
opinion on this, okay?
Okay.
So, before God, back whenever people worshipped gods and
No,
goddesses,
no such
deities,
thing.
well, see, that's different things. But back then, people believed that there was multiple different versions of God, that there was not one specific version that was like an almighty powerful being.
Yeah.
And I want to know your opinion on that so that I can see how we differ from that.
So like love is a thing that cannot be grasped, but it exists and it just is. Okay? It can be like matter. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed, only changed in form, okay? That's so matter exists. It just is. That's what God is outside of this universe. God is this thing that is, and everything that exists is a product of God just expressing itself in some form. And so the power of free will was given to its creation, that is humans, and then we chose to then either choose to follow or choose to not, and so on and so forth. And then through selfish action and understanding, we all wrote our own books, wrote our own understanding of this ultimate thing that is outside of this universe. And now we all have different individual things. I think that we tend to personify God as well out like way too fucking much. Like it is. That thing is. It is simply like something that just fucking exists. It's not a he, it's not a fucking she. It is. Like and so like so for also for there can it's not like so can God there's the God paradox. Can God create a rock so large that it can't move it? Well, God can do anything, therefore it should be able to, but also God can do anything, so it should still be able to move it. And so that's like there's a paradox in that. That's where like there's a philosophical paradox there. But God also just wouldn't do dumb shit like that. Like it so God is wholeheartedly good, so it creates things good in itself, and then that like through love we were created to then exist and turned to spread more good.
Okay, well,
We just happen to have all written our own books, evolved from different parts of Earth, and so with that we all took different interpretations. There's over, I think, 10,000 religions, including one where they believe that there's a fucking frog sitting with, like, the earth in its mouth. And then there's another one where there's, like, the earth is sitting on the back of a turtle. And then
that's
Pennywise shows up.
Native American.
Yeah. Pennywise shows up and fucks everything up.
Sure.
So I just, that's the thing. I think all of all religions are flawed because of human just not understanding, and that's why like I believe philosophy to be the truest version of anything, because like it can't there's no like the whole thing is that it's either it's logical or it's fucking not, and that's that. Like these are all opinions. That's why I'm not saying like my philosophy to be truly correct, but there are parts of it that are logically deductible to where like that just is true. That would be called a form, like yeah, it just is true, and then from that we infer other things. I infer a different opinion in terms of what individuals are from you, like that. These are all inferences versus the reality of there is a thing outside of this that is ultimate, and that ultimate thing there's not five gods that are like separate, like that, like it would not then make sense to then, because that would mean then that where did they come from? Well, they would be ultimately split, which doesn't make sense. There is an ultimate thing that all things come from.
So practically you're saying the same conception, like there is one technically all being that has no name,
Correct.
but is a being that helps life.
That we call Yahweh or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, there's one ultimate being. It's not individuals, because it ultimately is the thing that all comes from. There can't be like a Zeus and like a Thor. Or, sorry, I don't know any other fucking. I don't know Greek gods like that. But like, imagine there's a Greek god of fucking love, and then there's a Greek god of fucking.
Aphrodite.
All right, there you go. Imagine there's a Greek god of love, and then there's a Greek god of fucking, whatever the fuck else you want to say. All right, that means that one is ultimate of love, and then one is ultimate of another thing. Well, where did they get that from? That leads back to another point in that. So then there has to be a thing outside of that is. It is love, and it is the other thing as well, that then gives them the power to then do that. So then there has to be one whole God outside of all of those that give then power to the rest.
Titans in Greek mythology.
I could see where you're coming from on that. But here's another thing. Going back to like whenever you said our spirits have free will, wouldn't?
Yes.
So you also stated that you believe that humans have the abilities. Well, not humans, but souls have the abilities to write out the book, right? Their book of life, right?
Depends on what you're asking. I'm sorry.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, if so, then the people who had died early on in life have written that out in their books so that they could have some type of thing for the other person, like the other people that are in their life. Like with parents.
Yeah.
Ben, sweetie, you can cut this out if you want to, but I'm going to say something a little personal about myself.
Okay.
I had a miscarriage at 19 with a dude that was not nice. He raped me. But I believe that the babies that I had, they were taken away from me at the time that they were, so that I could develop more and be able to actually physically and mentally take care of a child on my own.
Okay. And yes, I would agree. Well, like I don't know with like them being taken over. I would say that makes logical sense. That is the gray of this world. Though I would also say like those babies each were individuals, and that's why I believe in purgatory. It's why I don't believe in like the fucking Christian belief that's like if it wasn't baptized, it's going to hell. Like no, it's a state of being. I would believe that those were individuals, and now they live a life through purgatory to then interact with this one. Maybe they're part of what interact with you to push you forward. Notice how those things existed, like those humans were created and then like died in the womb, and then now you are learning from the karmatic goodness that is creation. Creation itself is good, and you are learning from that how to be a better person and correct your line and all of that, like you just said. And so yeah, like I that's why I believe in purgatory, is because like there are mentally retarded people, there are babies that die at conception, there are abortions, there are there are all these things. So then there has to be a place outside of this space and time that those things that were not able to interact with this specific universe can exist in a place of free will, to where you choose whether or not to follow God. Follow in line with the goodness.
Okay.
And also can interact with this world to create karmatic goodness. And because the end goal of this world is that it once again is all goodness again. The end goal of human life is that we once again align ourselves with the whole goodness. So yes, I think we're on the same page.
But another thing that I would like to point out is, since they're in purgatory, let's just say it's based off the children that I had. Since they were in purgatory, don't you think that they get another chance at life if, like, they wanted to come back to this earth? To say if, like, they wanted to come back to this earth to me and they want me to be their mother?
That's where like this is where the interpretation of philosophical difference comes, because it's just like, yeah, like I do think that logically makes a lot of sense for God to do that. it also, in my philosophy, makes sense that there would then create also a limitation of souls to possibly exist in this world because they already were created with a body and soul attachment. So I don't. That's where it comes into the like my answer to that would be I don't fucking know. But there are all these other factors of my own philosophy that you can then enter in. That makes a lot of sense. And whatever fucking floats your goat, let that be, because that's where I don't believe in one religion working for anybody. I don't believe in one philosophy working for anybody. There are simply philosophical truths, and then from that we all interpret different. And if that's what floats your goat and that makes you feel fucking great and that's what aligns you with the good, do that, dog. Believe in that. I just don't know.
Fair enough.
That makes sense to me though.
And then like there goes to like the concept of like spirits being able to walk this earth even though that they are technically dead. Because
All I heard was that back end, I guess. I didn't hear the beginning of that.
so it comes down to a point where it's like people, they die, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone dies.
Yeah.
But spirits can still decide to walk this earth, protect the people that was closest to them, and come back to the people that they needed to take care of in said life.
Yeah.
So that means that there is possibility of spirits, and that there is a possibility of souls being able to come back to this earth, whether it be with meat suits or whether it be with not meat suits.
Yes. I would agree all up until the meat suit part, because that's just where, like, I don't know, because I think that there is a thing just to where, like, there is a body soul connection, and I haven't fully explored that philosophy. However, my personal philosophy at this time sits with each individual. That's where, like, when does that point of it being a human exist? Is it at conception? So on and so forth. I don't know. But it makes the most sense for me to say at conception, and then there is a bonding of the soul body at that moment, and then that's where that soul was meant to have that body. And unfortunately, because of the evils that exist through this line of evils since the fall of man from what we'll call fucking Eden, you know what I'm saying? That from that perfect goodness, from that state of perfect goodness where we were basically just humans living in nirvana. Once we chose against that and fell, now there has been this abundance of evils one way that is interact with this world of goodness, thus leading to the now. These things were never supposed to happen. These things were never supposed to exist. We were only supposed to live in a world of pure goodness. And because of the evils that exist generationally, we have to create goodness to backtrack all of those evils and get rid of them from this world.
I get what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying.
Also, thank you very much for being willing to share all of that. And you tell us, that is not for us to decide. You tell us what the fuck you want us to keep in and what you don't. Yeah. Once again, yeah, it's just one of those things.
Okay. Well, I'll give you back to Ben now.
Beautiful philosophical concept there to discuss. Thank you very much for being willing to do that as well.
You're welcome. Anytime you need me, I'm here.
Fucking I. Well, Ben, you there?
Yeah. My mouse fell
That was good.
asleep.
That was good philosophy. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, listeners. This has been the House of the Faded Sun podcast. Visually, you can eat a dick, but philosophically, if you're listening, this was beautiful in my eyes. This is what should happen with discourse of philosophy. There should be a calm, beautiful interaction where we discuss differences and simply talk them out and see each other out for who we like, for what we think. God bless you. Thank you very much. Have a great day. We love you.